Hey guys, it's Jessica here. Wow, it feels a bit weird filming this video, but I'm just gonna go straight to the point. Finally guys, I am going back to the Philippines. This feels so surreal, guys. In fact, it's normal that it doesn't feel so real because I'm not there yet. In fact, videos that will be up in a couple weeks or so will still be filmed in Korea, or it was filmed in Korea. I am going to the Philippines in the midst of December. So you guys, if you have been a subscriber of mine since maybe last year or something, or even before that, you probably know how much I wanted to go back to the Philippines, but it just never happened because the Philippine border was closed. I click on the country Philippines and everything's in red. It says very, very strict limitations on traveling. Like both UP and Ateneo, it's failed. So there's no way I'm gonna go to the Philippines for college. When? Not only for people with valid visa, but any foreigner was banned from going or entering the country. Although, as of right now, the Philippine border is still closed for foreigners without a valid visa. But thankfully, I have a valid visa. And actually, starting from the midst of this year, I was eligible to enter the Philippines with my visa. But I could not enter right away because by the time I heard from my friends in the Philippines that it would be better if I come a bit later when the lockdown situation is a bit better. And also my life here in Korea got extremely busy, especially after moving out and after separating with Sylvia. I got my own house, I had to do a lot of different stuff. So I thought that the best timing that I could go back was December. As you guys all know, the Philippines is a country in the entire world with the longest lockdown, and I would say even the hardest country to even fly to at the very moment. You know, I see a lot of my friends flying to different countries already, like the States, Japan, China, Mexico, and even some countries in Europe. But it was just extremely hard to enter the Philippines because the policies kept changing. Everything was actually up in the clouds, the instructions weren't clear. So actually, starting from the birth month, September, I actually checked constantly the immigration office page to see if there were any changes in the policy, the instructions, so that I know when exactly I can fly there. Thankfully enough, now it's much easier to actually enter the Philippines. The instructions are way, way, way clearer. So that's why I'm finally going back to the Philippines. I'm so excited to finally try the different Filipino food that I missed so much. Although I've been having a lot of different Filipino food here in Korea. If you watched my Filipino restaurants in Korea video, or videos of me cooking in my own home, even inventing some recipe, enjoying Filipino food with my friends. But it's always different when it becomes the authentic local experience. So I'm very excited for that. I'm just also excited to finally see my home in 2 years. You know, my home has been just lying there for 2 years. I'm excited to meet some of my friends. I'm excited to be there, not as a student anymore, but as a YouTuber. I will try my best to document and film every bit of my time in the Philippines so I can share it with you guys and just multiply the happiness. However, though, I am very concerned of so many other factors as well, actually. So in life, you know, there are always the timing where you feel like, wow, reality hits. It was my dream to go back to the Philippines, but I know there are certain things that I have to consider so that my trip in the Philippines will be nice, I guess. Just because the world has changed so much in 2 years, my life, my position, I guess, in the society have changed in the past 2 years. First of all, I'm not a student anymore. Second of all, this is the biggest thing, but I'm going there alone. I'm not going there with my family, which is something that I have never done before. Yeah, I'm not saying that I am afraid to live alone. You know, I'm living alone right now, but living alone here and living alone there are totally different. Also in terms of transportation, we do have a car. My mom's car is there, but I don't think I can drive, EDSA and different places in the Philippines because, I don't want to get into trouble. So when I were to move to different places, because in fact, in order for me to go out to have all the food and everything, I need transpo, but I don't, my mom's not there to drive for me and I don't have a driver, so I'll probably have to find one. In terms of safety and convenience as well, if I need something, I actually have to go to the mall to buy it. Of course, I can online shop, but I've actually never done online shopping actively in the Philippines. Another big thing, a few of my closest friends who I thought I would spend the most time with are not in the country, or they're leaving the country. If they're not gonna be in the country, what if I'm just left there crying, lonely, and then realizing that I shouldn't have come, because I actually have this experience. I don't think I've ever shared this in my YouTube before, but I've been going back and forth Korea and the Philippines so many times. And then there is this thing where when I'm in Korea, I'm so happy. Oh, I finally came to Korea, I came back home. After 2 months, I want to go back to Philippines so bad. And when I go back to the Philippines, I'm so happy for 2 or 3 months. And then, oh my god, I want to go back home. I want to go back to Korea. I think of that. That's why now that I haven't been going back to the Philippines for 2 years, I really wanted to go back. To answer some of the most expected questions from you guys, I think you guys will be curious on whether I'm going to stay there for good or I'm going there for good. To answer that, I am not sure. Most probably I'm going to come back to Korea because, I just got my house 4 or 5 months ago. I'll leave all my stuff here. My life in Korea will still be the soul of my life in Korea will still reside here, I guess. So I think I will come back to Korea. Also because, I will miss my family and stuff. But I do not know when that will be. Another question that I am expecting is what happened to my house? My house will be empty. But my plants, I'm going to have someone take care of my plants. What else? So you guys will probably get to see my life in the Philippines vlogs, maybe starting from early next year, January. I'm not doing Vlogmas because that's too tough for me, but I have a few videos ready for you guys that I pre-filmed here in Korea that will go up in the entire month of December. So please stay tuned for all of those videos. I would also like to thank you guys so much for your support. I will express more of my gratitude through amazing and better videos in the future. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!